We've waited a long time for this evening to have this event, and if you just bear with me, we have a prepared text here, and then I'm going to get into about 45 to 60 minutes of answering questions. But let me kick this thing off with, isn't it great to be in Pompano Beach? And that's because it's all here. I appreciate this opportunity to provide some opening remarks at this news conference, and especially the chance to speak about my favorite subject, Pompano Beach. We have come a long way, baby, and this is yet another occasion to celebrate our successes that have been created by partnerships and partnerships that have been created by cooperation, collaboration, and communication. Neither the public sector nor the private sector can build a road to our future alone. But by working together, we can and have achieved so much and have so much more to do. The history of the first half of the last decade speaks for itself, all too well about how little our city gains without a unified focus, without cooperation, without collaboration, and without communication. The last half of the decade, on the other hand, is an example of what we can do together. It is time in which we grew our city at a rate of nearly 40 times greater when we didn't cooperate, collaborate, and communicate. Let's celebrate our successes. I can remember the time when the Seafood Festival and Fishing Rodeo were political footballs every year tossed back and forth. Sometimes the score was 3-2. Sometimes the score was 2-3. Now we devote our energy and enthusiasm to promoting these events, and you can see how really great they have become. We are very happy to welcome the Spirit of Florida Bobsled team. It's another special event in our city. If it's not all here now, it soon will be. We have to just keep working at it together. My hat is off to the Chamber of Commerce and the city administration for the great job they have done in building a bridge that we can all walk on both ways, going and coming, but always working together. And from this relationship, we have forged a public-private partnership that has helped us develop goals and form a vision for our great city. Let us not forget the past and the road we traveled to get here, but we must focus on the future together as partners. We are indeed on the verge of becoming the great city we want to be and the great city we can be. And so, as we turn our attention to the matters at hand, let me thank all of you for your individual and collective efforts in making the slogan, "It's all here," a reality. Thank you very much. God bless, and let's make Pompano all it can be. And now I'd like to introduce Al Seifert.
Thank you, Bill. And we couldn't do it without you. You've led us down this rough road for a long time, and we really appreciate all your efforts. I'm here to speak quickly on the slogan, "It's all here, Pompano Beach." It was created by the Sorensen Design Group, Steve Gordon and Jeannie Sorensen over here, and they did a great job for us. And Steve assures us this is going to be our logo for a long, long time. So what it's all about is through our Economic Development Council, we had a conceptual plan that was done for us, and we also had a 2020 vision process we just finished. Big part of what this is about is the image of Pompano Beach and how the residents feel about themselves. So they designed this so we can feel good about who we are in Pompano Beach. We all know we have a great city. This just goes to reinforce this. Now we're going to be using this logo at the Seafood Festival, at the Fishing Rodeo, and the Bobsled Fishing Tournament, and all of our major events. This is going to be out here. We also have the large one outside. You also saw that one. We're creating some ones that we can hang off the street poles like we do during the holiday season. And then right now we have 25, and we want to expand that citywide, so we'll be working on that project. So with that, that's what this is about. It's feel good about Pompano Beach. We deserve to feel good. We have a great city, and it's getting better all the time, thanks to our mayor and our city commission, city manager Bill Hargett. So at this time, I'd like to introduce John Good, who's going to tell us a little bit about the upcoming Seafood Festival next week. John, would you come up, please?
Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon. The Pompano Beach Seafood Festival, the 16th annual Pompano Beach Seafood Festival, I'm told is this coming weekend. I hope it's not, because I'm not anywhere near ready for it. But no, seriously, the festival opens this Friday. There are some posters in the back for those of you who have a place that you can put them up. We are working really hard on our publicity. We want to get the word out. I think the word's already out pretty strongly about the festival. You know, over the years, as Bill referred, we've had our ups and downs and some rocky roads with putting on this festival. And over the last 2 or 3 years, I cannot tell you how appreciative I am, and all the people on our committee are, and all of our charity groups who are involved are, with the incredible support that we've received from the city and from the city commissioners. The atmosphere is just incredible. It's so positive, not only for the Seafood Festival, but for other things that are going on, that when I first saw this logo, I was just ecstatic about it. I hope everybody in this room has been to the Seafood Festival. If you haven't, don't miss it this year, please. It is a wonderful event. It's a great family event. I have in the back some flyers with our music lineup this year. By far the best ever. I think it's certainly the best lineup of entertainment we've ever seen in Pompano Beach, and we hope it's only the beginning of what we can turn this festival into. There are some of us who have some visions about taking this festival and the fishing rodeo and some of the other events and really putting Pompano's name on the map. It's a wonderful place to put on something like the Pompano Beach Seafood Festival. There are so many people. I could talk all night about it, and I'm not going to. There are so many people that are involved. Our volunteer corps probably reaches into the thousands now. And the great thing about the festival is not only is it a wonderful community event that people have a great time. Last year, between the money that the Seafood Festival itself generated and the fishing rodeo was able to generate, we probably made a little over $90,000 that went back into the community. And that goes back into the community all to nonprofit organizations. Ely High School, the Boys and Girls Club. The list is about 30 deep when you get all the way down the line of where the proceeds go, which we really think is a wonderful thing. It's not just one charity or one project the Seafood Festival supports. We take those dollars and we spread them throughout the entire community. So I hope you all come Friday night, 5 o'clock. Goes from 5 to 11. Friday night we have the Crystals and Gary Lewis and the Playboys. Friday night is always a lot of fun. And then Saturday afternoon we have the Buckinghams. Saturday night we have Three Dog Night. Sunday afternoon we have the Coral Reef Review, which is a Jimmy Buffett-style band. We're supposed to be just fabulous. And we're going to close the festival Sunday afternoon with the Grassroots. I know all those bands and recognize the names. There's probably some younger people here who maybe don't recognize all those names, but I promise you it will be a wonderful time. So come on out. After you come to the Seafood Festival, you get about 2 weeks off, and then you come to the Pompano Fishing Rodeo. And Patty Carr is here, who is the executive director of the Fishing Rodeo. I've been on the rodeo committee for more years than I care to remember, and it is also a wonderful event. And I'm not going to steal all of Patty's thunder, but the one speech I will give about the Pompano Fishing Rodeo is, if you have never come to it, you know, oh, I'm not a fisherman, I'm not into that. Come to one of the events. Come to the Thursday night kickoff, or come to the Friday or Saturday weigh-ins and just see what it's all about, because you don't have to be a fisherman to come and see another great event that's happening in Pompano. It's a great time. And with that, Patty Carr.
Thank you, John. The Pompano Beach Fishing Rodeo is 35 years old. 16, you're just a teenager, John, with the Seafood Festival. The rodeo is middle-aged right now. The rodeo, for those who don't know, and how could you not, you live in Pompano, it is the largest tournament in South Florida. Last year we had 237 boats and 793 anglers. We expect to have at least that many this year. The next largest tournament right now, like in South Florida, would be the Miami Billfish Tournament. So you can see how people love to come to Pompano because, Jesse, it's all here. Our involvement has been just, South Florida-wide and national-wide, and we really are happy to know that this, again, will be our 35th anniversary. We want you all to come. John says it is a great event. We kick off with the Beach Bash and Auction at the Hillsborough Club on May 12th, and that's in conjunction with the Rotary Club of Pompano Beach. They came to us a few years ago, and I think frankly, and you know Blair, I think he just wanted to have a party. But so it's grown from a party to a very nice event that raises a whole lot of money again for Ely High School. And then the next week we will be at the San Hotel, which I also say, you know, you talk about an economic benefit. Talk to Charlie about the economic benefit of the Pompano Beach Fishing Rodeo at the Sands. We will be there May 18th for our kickoff party. And then we have the weigh-ins first there'll be the Bimini start both days. That's about 250 boats going out that inlet. The weigh-ins are every day from 3 to 6. And then our awards are on Sunday on our barge. It's a great event. We're so pleased to be able to pull it off one more time. And I keep saying that I was 3 when I started doing it, and now it's 35, so I just must be about 38 years old. But boy, I'll tell you, I feel a lot older than that. And one other thing, if you do get a copy of the magazine, there's a few back here. We have 2 fabulous stories written by an outdoor writer named Jan Fote in this magazine this year, and she chronicles the history of the rodeo through people and also through by year. And she had stuff that I didn't even know happened. And it is just, and if you've been a long-time Pompano person, or if you haven't, you want to know what the fishing rodeo is all about, pick up a copy of the magazine, if not here, but someplace in one of the tackle stores, and you can read about how this event has grown and has become what it has become. We also, and I do want to thank Jesse for this, the flags, those pole flags that are going to go up on Atlantic Boulevard, they're going to have the rodeo dates on the bottom of them. And I'll tell you, that's been one of my dreams for years, and I truly thank you so much for doing that. Because, Jesse, you know, you're all here. Thank you so much. I have the distinct pleasure to introduce the organizers of the bobsled tournament, affectionately known as the bobsled tournament. It's the 2002 Olympic Spirit of Florida Bobsled team, Phil and Nancy Hausman. And would one of you like to come up, please?
I'm Phil Hausman. My wife Nancy sits out there, along with Brian Scheimer, the USA #1 top driver for the Olympic bobsled team. First of all, you're probably all wondering, what is a bobsled doing in Florida? Everybody teases me about the Jamaican bobsled, you know, so I'm used to it now. This fishing tournament that we have started approximately 4 years ago. Myself and my wife, we were sitting up in Charlotte, North Carolina, with one of the top NASCAR past champions, Jeffrey Bodine, and we got talking about it. Jeff got involved in this by watching in 1992 television and seeing that our boys and girls, at that time there was no girls, excuse me, weren't doing very good because we always had to buy our sleds from the Europeans. So Jeff took it on himself, along with a fellow friend of his, a chassis builder. Matter of fact, he was a competitor of mine because I build race car chassis also up north. And they got together and Jeff funded it, by the way, got to get the ball rolling, and said, let's build some sleds. So him and Bob Cuneo from Connecticut, they designed, this is the first sled that they designed for our Olympians right here. And the last few years, the technology's getting better and better, and of course Brian's getting better. I mean, he's running real well. And we have a girls team that's doing really good. And they are going to be our hopes for 2002 at Salt Lake City. They're going to be Spirit of Florida. And the way it got its name was through the fundraisers. We kept every year getting bigger and bigger through the local and national help. And the Olympic Federation in Nagano, Japan at the last Olympics gave us the honor and put the Spirit of Florida on the sleds. And So now Brian's sled, and of course the girls and the four-man sled are going to be the Spirit of Florida from Pompano Beach. I would like to thank all the city commissioners, city manager, Margie Hedlund, and Mark Lee for all the help they've given me in this, and Bernard and Jesse, you're something else. You're a sweetheart. But it's people like you that's going to help us, and people like you, why Pompano's going to be on the map.
But born and raised here in South Florida, you know, I've gotten that my whole career. I've competed in the last 4 Olympic Games. I've been in the sport for 15 years, and my first Olympic Games was the same year that the Jamaican bobsled team came about too. So I've always gotten that myself. From Florida, how the heck do you get involved in bobsledding? But anyway, that's a long story. I'd like to thank Pompano Beach for inviting me over here today. It's a great opportunity. I don't know if it wasn't for Phil and Nancy, I think I'd probably be retiring, because the sport of bobsledding is so technical, and the Europeans keep getting better and better and better every year, and we spend most of our time competing in Europe. And I think it's unfortunate for us Olympic athletes in the United States that you only see the Olympics every 4 years. You see football, basketball, baseball, hockey. They've got all the money in the world. I compete for my country and don't get paid. They compete for a city and make millions. And unfortunately, we compete against the Europeans in the World Cup circuits in Europe. So every race is televised. They got 90 million viewers on Eurosport, and we got to compete against that. The budget of one team in Europe is the budget of our whole federation that's got to take care of 10 teams. So if it wasn't for Phil and Nancy coming on board and taking this another step and letting us get better with our technology and our bobsleds and doing it the Spirit of Florida, hey, there's nothing better. I've been Florida's only Olympian, native only Olympian in the last 4 Olympic Games. And thank you. And for you know for Pompano Beach to get behind this and to give me that boost is just more than words can express right now. The Olympic Games is the greatest spectacle in all sports, greatest spectacle in the world in the sporting world. And I just hope that everybody here can be a part of it. And if you ever make it up to Salt Lake City, Utah, I'd love to give you all a ride. And it's a great thrill you never forget. Thank you.
I mean, short and simple, we know what we have here. It's a diamond in the rough. And I think it's time that we all kind of project that image in the papers. All the things you read in the paper are bad. The only people that know what goes on here are us. It's time to let the world know that. We are aligning with PEG, the Economic Development Council, and the city, strategic partnerships to say, we have a bobsled team. Guess what? They're in Pompano Beach. We have a seafood festival. Guess what? It's in Pompano Beach. That's what it's about. I can't say any more than other than that. That's what we're about. You'll see this around the city, and I hope that being involved in an activity like this, that people will go out and say, yes, it's all here. I'm happy to be in Pompano Beach. Thank you.
Well, folks, you heard what's here. You heard just 3 things are here. Seafood Festival, the fishing rodeo. They've been here for a long time, and now the bobsled team. But what else is here in Pompano Beach? Well, we have one of the longest fishing piers in South Florida. We have a nationally recognized golf course for one of the finest public facilities in South Florida. We have the oldest boat parade in the country, right here in Pompano Beach. What does it really mean to economic development? What does all this mean when we work together as a partnership? What that means is over the last 5 years with this entity, Bill Griffin, our mayor, alluded to it already. In 5 years, what can happen when a community comes together? We've increased our tax base by $900 million in the last 5 years. Now, you look at that's a good number, but look at the previous 5 years, we did $23 million. So you talk about a community coming together as partners, making things happen and really getting known. That's what it's all about. Right now, we're still the home of the Goodyear blimp, and we're still the home of some other things. But right now, it's this organization, these groups of people, the Pompano Beach Chamber of Commerce, PEG, which is the economic development arm of the Chamber of Commerce, the residential leaders of our community coming together, stepping up and fighting for what we believe in, really getting a word out of what we're about, what we are, what we have here in Pompano Beach. I appreciate this attendance. You look around the room, there's so many different organizations recognized here. It's so much, and it really moves me to know how hard we've been working to bring this group together. And with Jesse, you putting this all together for us tonight, I applaud you. I applaud the bobsled team. I applaud what John Good has done for us year after year at the Seafood Festival, and what Patty Carr and Vince Carr have done for us with the fishing rodeo. We've been on, with the fishing rodeo, we've been on the Discovery Channel. We've been on so many things that bring attention to us. But folks, the only thing that's going to push us forward is everyone in this room working together. So again, thank you all for coming out. We have some little prizes and some other things. If you have any questions for any organizations, please feel free to ask. But if not, thank you again. You know what? It is all here in Pompano Beach. Thank you.